with that said, let's move on. The Fool's journey. After he meets with the magician, he runs into the High Priestess. And what does the High Priestess want to tell him? So let's talk about the planet. Really, in this case, it's the luminary, the moon. That is what is associated with the High Priestess card, which is a very feminine take, right? Because the moon has feminine energy. And of course, water is the sign of the moon and is the sign of this High Priestess card, which makes sense because this card is full of blue, which has that blue water and even a moon feel to it. It's got all of that energy to it. So just remember, we're stepping out of the masculine magician card and now we're stepping into that feminine card, okay? The feminine card of the High Priestess. So let's look at this card. You see the High Priestess and she is holding a scroll. And the scroll, you only see the T-O-R-A. And it's a Torah is what she's holding, and it's the Jewish law, but it's partly concealed. And the Jewish law, it's really just showing that there's knowledge to the divine, but it's concealed. It's concealed knowledge. The pillars here that she sits between are the pillars of duality. The B on the pillar in black is the pillar of Boaz. And the J on the pillar of white is Jachin. Again, it's just bringing in that polarity aspect of this card. So when you look at her, she has a crown on her head. She's got that full moon and it's bright, bright glory. And then she also has the crescent moons on the side. So what does that signify? Before I get into that, I also want to point out that she is sitting in front of a beautiful, calm blue body of water that really sits behind her in the background. But she is veiled off from that body of water with this beautiful drape that's full of pomegranates. So there's a lot of polarity happening here. There's a lot of mystery happening here, right? You've got that hidden scroll of knowledge. It's there, but it's not there. You really can't see the whole thing. You see that beautiful body of water, that beautiful, almost representing the knowledge that she can tap into from the gods, from divine. But it's not quite accessible to us because you've got that drape in front of it. And then she's got that beautiful crown with the beautiful full moon. But what is the full moon? The full moon actually represents the sun and the moon all at once, because it actually is reflecting the sun's beautiful rays back at us. So there is again some duality there where the sun is actually very much present on a full moon, but we don't always remember that or see it that way. We always forget that that's exactly what we're seeing. So there's again some duality, some things at place here. And I think what this card is always reminding us is that we always have a deep connection to the unconsciousness. That is what the High Priestess card is. It represents the unconsciousness. And it reminds us to take that moment to sit still and really take in meditative practices, really sit in silence and kind of search ourselves, search our unconsciousness, and allow the unconsciousness to help guide us in our conscious efforts, because that's where we connect to God the most. Really, when we take that time to sit quiet and listen for God's instructions. And that's exactly what this card is telling you to do. It's reminding you to take that time to dive into ourselves, kind of reach into our unconsciousness as best as we can, and to find God within. And that is how we connect with our intuition. And in reverse, this card is literally just saying you are not taking the time to follow your intuition. You are not taking the time to do your personal work, to really dive into yourself and really take the time to ask God, to pray and meditate and say, hey, what am I supposed to be doing? I feel lost. What what do you think my next step should be? That's really just a call for prayer. You need to connect with God more. You need to connect with yourself more. You're not really being truthful with yourself. For whatever reason, you don't want to see yourself for who you are. You don't want to do your work and dive in deeper and really work with that unconsciousness. Or, I'm sorry, you don't want to work with that subconsciousness. I should say that. The High Priestess card has a lot to do with the subconscious, not the unconscious. The unconscious was the Fool card. The conscious is the masculine card, and the subconscious, it's that part of your brain that's working, it's online, but it's a little bit deeper and it's a little bit more mysterious to us. That's the High Priestess. She is the subconscious. She is the one that's going to help you connect with the subconscious, with the underbelly of who you are. But that's the High Priestess. She is the subconscious part of you. And all of these parts of you are very important to dive into and understand better so that you can understand yourself better. So when you see that card, it's really a call to tap into your inner self a little bit more, pray more, meditate more, and really try to understand your heart's desires truly on a subconscious level. Another thing I wanted to point out that I forgot to point out on that drape, the pomegranates. So the pomegranates represent feminine energy, okay? And then there's palm trees next to the pomegranates, and that represents masculine energy. So again, just like the Magician card, where he had the roses that was feminine and the lilies that were masculine, which kind of together bring about manifestation when they're brought together. In this card, you have pomegranates, which is feminine energy, and palm trees, which is masculine energy. And again, that play on bringing forth creation, creative power, that power to manifest is still within these cards, but there's another person that the Fool has to meet in order to start to melt everything together. And that's the Empress. He is on his way to meeting the Empress.